Hello everybody, welcome to your first instruction video. I'm going to explain in this video how to navigate all of the files in your week 1 folder on Schoology. This is where you're going to find everything for this week. Nothing is due that is not in this folder. So let's start off with what each thing is. We'll go and open each one, but right now I just want to explain what each one is. So the week 1 English checklist, that's going to be what I explained in another video as the order in which I want you to look at each of these documents and the order in which you should do it, as well as due dates. So everything for this week is going to be due on Thursday, April 23rd. That's this coming Thursday, so 3-4 days from now. And that'll all be due through Schoology, okay? All of that information is going to be in this checklist. Start here. It's definitely the best place to start to make sure that you understand everything that's going on. Next, we have the week 1 instruction, Intro to Schoology. This is a good thing if you want to get whatever adult is in your house involved in what you're doing on Schoology and in school, or if you just need a recap on how to work this course. Definitely please watch this first if you haven't already. So if you haven't already watched week 1 instruction, go ahead and do that right after you watch this video, because it's going to explain to you a lot of what is important for distance learning and a lot of where you're going to find things for my classes. So definitely go back and watch that. Then this is going to be where this video is placed. I know it's a little complicated, but this is this video where I'm going to explain all the assignments and things like that for this week. Right here is, these two are the Rematch by BJ Novak. This week we're going to be starting and mainly just reading the first story of this book. It's called One More Thing. It's by BJ Novak. It's a collection, who's a comedian. I don't know if you know him, but he's a pretty popular comedian. And it's going to be a collection of short stories that deals with just funny, weird things that have happened either to him or that he's imagined. And the first story of this entire book is a retelling of the tortoise and the hare, the race between the tortoise and the hare. And it's called The Rematch. It's this funny, kind of whimsical way to tell what would have happened after the hare or the tortoise beats the hare, which gives us the story of I'm sure most of you know, we've talked about it in class before, but the idiom of slow and steady wins the race and all those different ideas of why going slow and steady is good and why you should do it. It kind of messes with that, and I thought that you guys would really like it, especially for the first week of distance learning, because it's pretty funny. So that's what we're going to be reading this week. There wasn't a audiobook version of this already made, so I made one. So if you want to hear me read this story to you as you read it on the document, this is where you're going to find that. So you're going to click on it if you'd like to listen. It's going to come up in this little window. And if you hit play, you can play it on this window. But in the past, we've had some issues with playing audio on Schoology itself. So it might be better to just download it straight to your Chromebook or computer by hitting this button. Okay, it's just like downloading any song. You just click it, and then wherever you play music, whether that's iTunes or QuickTime Player, any of those different apps will play it just fine. It's only 8 minutes and 20 seconds. It's a 4-page short story. I think you guys are really going to like it. So go ahead and give that a listen if you'd rather just listen to it as you read. All right. Now this one is going to be your reading, the actual physical reading. You'll be required to do some annotations on that as well. This one is going to be your assignment for this week. This is the most important document, and we'll go over it in a lot of detail in a second here. So let's start back at the beginning with the checklist. So when you click on it, the document is going to come up. You're not going to be allowed to edit this at all. It's just, for me, it says I can edit it because I created it, but for you, it's just going to be a document that you can just view, which is fine. Let's read through it. Week 1 English checklist. As I mentioned in the week 1 instruction to Schoology video, I will provide a checklist at the beginning of each week's folder of work. Please utilize this list to make sure that you complete each task for that week in the order it was assigned. This will ensure that you don't miss anything. All right, so 1, watch week 1 instruction, Intro to Schoology. That's the first thing I'm going to ask you guys to do. You should have already been emailed it, but if you weren't, go ahead and watch that right after you watch this video. Then this video. This is going to be your assignment explanation in the rematch. 3 is going to be to read or listen to The Rematch by BJ Novak and provide at least 7 annotations within the Google Doc by Thursday, April 23rd. Again, that's this coming Thursday. So make sure you're paying attention to the due dates. They'll always be highlighted in red. Your annotations will be graded, so please remember to use the suggesting mode to comment on the story. All right, so this right here is going to be really important, and we're going to go over it in a second. The 4th thing is to complete the week 1 assignment, What Happened to the Tortoise, by this Thursday. And the 5th thing is to give yourself a pat on the back and take a breath. Week 1 of English is over. So let's go back to 3. Read or listen to The Rematch by BJ Novak. So I'm going to go back over to Schoology here. And let's say I don't really want to listen to it. I'm just going to go ahead and read through it, which is totally fine. I'm going to click on that. And it's going to take me to an assignment page, the same way it would if you were writing an essay for this class. Whatever it takes you, what you're going to do is usually you guys up here have an option that says open in docs or open assignment or open in a new window. I'm not quite sure what it says, but it's going to be right here and you're going to click on it. For me, I'm just going to click on this. Okay, here is the reading for this week. I made it an assignment because I'm asking that you complete 7 annotations within the document. That means that I want you to show 7 times within the document that you are reading it, listening to it, understanding it, or that you have questions. So let me show you how you're going to annotate within the document. I know it's a little complicated because usually in my class you annotate in the margins, right? Actually in the physical reading, it helps. But with this, you're going to annotate using this tool. So up in this corner, you're going to see this little pencil on your Google Doc. What I want you to do is hit suggesting, okay? Once you click suggesting, you're going to be able to highlight and comment on parts of the story. So let's say, I want to say that this part right here, that this part right here is, let me actually redo this real quick. I'm going to highlight it, and then right here, you're going to click this add a comment button. That's how you annotate. This is a funny title. Wonder what the rest of the stories are like. All right, and then I hit comment, and there we go. I have an annotation in the margins of the story. This is how you're going to be annotating for this class for the rest of the year, okay? So make sure that you are clicking on this button up here, making sure that you are in suggesting mode, and then using it like this. This is a funny name. Comment. Awesome. Those are 2 annotations. I'm going to go ahead and delete these. This is how you delete them if you don't like an annotation that you did. There you go. All right. So this is the story. As I said, it's only 4 pages. And I have it in big font, so it's really not that long. But I do want you guys to be paying extra close attention to style, the way that BJ Novak writes this story, and characters. And really put yourself in the shoes of each of these characters. Mainly, it's going to be the tortoise and the hare, the 2 main characters of the story. So I want you guys to really pay attention to that and maybe make most of your annotations about either the style of the short story or on the characters of the hare and the tortoise. All right, so that's going to be your reading. This is an assignment and it is due, okay? So when you're done, you're going to go back to your assignment page in Schoology and hit submit the same way you have been for the remainder of the semester. Okay, I can't show you the student version of this because I don't have access to one of your accounts, but it's just going to show up the same way it does usually, where you have the document and then up in a corner over here it says submit. You're just going to hit submit on that once you've completed your annotations. All right, let's go back. Once you've completed your annotations, you are going to go to week 1 assignment. What happened to the tortoise? All right, now in this assignment, it's going to look the same as the last one. I'm just going to go ahead and open it right here again. This is your assignment for week 1. Okay, so let's read through this together. The week 1 assignment, what happened to the tortoise? Hello class, your assignment for your first week of distance learning is to start where the rematch leaves off. At the end of the story, we find out how the world reacts to the rematch between the tortoise and the hare, but I would like to know how the rematch has affected the life of the tortoise. Please write 2 paragraphs in the style of the story which answer the question, what happened to the tortoise after the rematch? Okay, so to be absolutely clear on that, what I want you to do is write 2 paragraphs, simply 2 paragraphs. That means at least 7 sentences. Okay, a paragraph is at least 7 sentences for this assignment. They can be short, they can be long, I don't mind, but at least 7 sentences. 2 paragraphs in the style of the story. That means that I would like for you to write as though you were BJ Novak finishing that story, right? So, for instance, if there was a thriller novel that I was having you guys read and I asked you to complete that in the style of the story, you probably wouldn't then go ahead and write like it was a sunny day in March and you're having a fantastic time. You would write in that dark sort of mystical world that the original story, the thriller story, happens in, right? You're gonna write with the style of BJ Novak in this. Okay, do the best that you can do, and this is just a first assignment for this distance learning thing. So I'm really going to be taking your creativity and what you come up with into account. So don't feel too much pressure. I'm really excited to see what you guys come up with because it's a weird story, and I think you're going to have fun. All right, so the point of this exercise is to practice paying attention to character development and writing style. So here are a few tips as you get started. Be sure to write in a format similar to the author's. That's number 1. Don't write in super long paragraphs or just in short sentences. You're going to want to write the way that BJ Novak writes. Number 2, use the ideas on the organizer below, that's this right here, to help you brainstorm. Reread the last few paragraphs of the actual story to get you set to start writing. So that's just a recommendation. You don't really have to. These are all recommendations. But if you want to just reread the last few paragraphs of the story a few times, that should help you kind of get in the mood and get in the world of the story. 3, be sure to indent every time a different character starts speaking for dialogue. So if you look over here, we don't really have too much dialogue, but if you're going to be doing dialogue in your story, you want to make sure that you indent every line where someone new is talking. Okay? And the last bit is proofread your work to make changes to fix any problem spots. Now, I want to make sure that you guys understand that Veronica and I will be having office hours. So both of us have set aside large chunks of time to help you write this, so you're not doing it alone. And we're also here to proofread your work for you. If you send me an email or talk to me on Zoom on one of our office hours, and you say, "Hey, I finished my first draft. Can you look at it?" I'd be happy to go through and fix any mistakes that would get you a lower grade. I really want to help you guys get as good a grades as you possibly can. So let's go to the organizer. This is just the last bit here. I would like for you to complete this. If you feel that you don't need to, I won't blame you, but I'd really like for each of you to complete this. So this is just a way for you to get started. I'd suggest going from setting to characters to plot to dialogue. So the first question is, what is the setting at the end of the story? I don't know. What is it? What's happening? What setting will I want for my continuation of the story? So this is what setting will your 2 paragraphs begin in? Characters. Who are the characters in the story at the end? So what's happening at the end? Who are the characters? Who are the characters I might want in my extended ending? Remember that this is primarily about the tortoise, right? I really want you to be writing for me about what happens to the tortoise. Is he sad? What is he relieved that he no longer has to live a lie that slow and steady wins the race? How is he feeling right now? I want you guys to be creative. Make sure you include the tortoise. All right. Plot. What is happening at the end of the story? What events can I add to the ending/plot? This is a real question. I really want you to add something new, not just revisit what happens earlier in the story. Last bit, dialogue. Which characters are speaking towards the end of the story? Is anyone talking? Do you want to continue that? Which characters will speak in my extended ending? I'd recommend the tortoise speaking at least once. Maybe talking to himself, maybe talking to somebody else. Practicing dialogue is really fun, and I recommend you practice it in this story. So that's the full assignment. Make sure that you begin here, okay? This is where you are writing your paragraphs. This is where I will grade them from. This is where you should begin your writing. So the capitalize is having a hard time. That's where you should start, okay? Right down there. Go ahead and delete that. And that's where you're going to post. Sorry, my computer glitched. That's where you're going to be writing your 2 paragraphs. And then remember, after you're done with that, you have to go over and hit submit on Schoology to submit the assignment to me. Otherwise, it'll just exist on your Google Drive and I'll never see it. So make sure that you're hitting submit every time you complete an assignment. That should be everything for this week. Again, this was week 1, and we're reading The Rematch by B.J. Novak. If you have any questions, please email me. Anytime, really, between 8 and 3, I will respond really quickly. So within 5 minutes is usually my response time when people are sending me emails during the day. So go ahead. You can also call me on my school phone number, which is you should be getting from Miss Nicholson over the next few days. But other than that, that's your instruction for the week, and everything is there. Don't worry about completing any other assignments. Just focus on this week and getting done your week 1 assignment by Thursday. If anyone is having trouble completing the assignment on time, let me know before Thursday. Don't let me know Thursday morning. Let me know maybe Wednesday afternoon, and I hopefully will be able to give you a slight extension on it, maybe till Friday or till Monday if you really, really need it due to family circumstances or you're not feeling well, things like that. But please let me know ahead of time so that I can prepare and mark it so it's not late on Schoology. Other than that, I hope you guys have a great rest of your week. I'm really looking forward to hearing what you think of The Rematch. If you guys really like it, hopefully you'll read more of his stories.